Good evening, good night, and welcome to Mindful Live 439. I am your host, well, your co-host actually. The host was here not too long ago, but she made her exit. Right now she's playing with a bottle, a cover, and a pig. If you know, you know. But welcome. It is the 24th of the 10th month in the year of our Lord 2024. And I'm here in the beautiful Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Heaven and earth, according to some, a paradise where God has his residence, apparently, some think. But also some say it's an imaginary place. It's not actually real. But there are a real number of killings going on. So if an imaginary place, there are a lot of real deaths going on in these parts. 5 murders overnight, kidnappings seem to be back on the rise. Police are not exempt from the violence. And no one is being caught. Currently, we have a junior officer suing the commissioner of police, wanting the commissioner of police to make a jail for contempt. The commissioner of police is being sued by a police officer basically every other day in this country. I wonder if we could get a total number of police officers that are currently in the courts with the commissioner of police as the person that they are against in that lawsuit. What's that number in total? Because it's a lot. Just imagine if Uncle Jack called Nathan as an advisor. Hey, boy, what you saying, boy? What you saying? I don't think I can take that job. Even though I wouldn't doubt that might be a very lucrative job, eh? That might be a very lucrative job, but I mean, I'm not too sure if I'll be very interested in a Uncle Jack advisory job, eh? Some of his associates found their way into the slammer before. Replace who? Nah. Don't call my name. Don't call my name with in that sentence. I would not have you, Torres. I would not have you. I would hope. I'm trying to find a good way to say this. I would hope that questions of the nature of my masculinity are not as up in the air as the person you are referencing me with there. You understand? I don't like that, Torres. Don't put me in that sentence. No, don't put us together there. No, I don't want to be together with. Hey. Anyway, people, once you're on the inside, make sure you hit that like button, double tap the screen over there on TikTok. If you're wondering how to hit the like button out there, you double tap that screen. And if you are looking at this live on YouTube, you hit that like button too. Drop a comment, leave a little heart, leave a little thumbs up. Let me know that, yeah, you're there and you're feeling the live. It's some good stuff. Allow me to know it's real. Was it Drake who had the line, he wants you to tattoo his name on your forehead or something like that so he knows it's real? I'm not asking for that much. Just a little, a little thumbs up in the chat. Small thing. Good night, Krimak. Good night. WPC is on the mend, I hear. That may be a long recovery road, but at least it's headed in the right direction. Does it seem like the investigations are headed in the right direction though? Are they any closer to finding those guys? Like, I mean, how, man? How? No way how that should be. We have too many cameras all around. Don't they have an idea who those guys are at least, man? Something? But it's a Thursday. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to ask or jump in and we'd have that discussion. And a Thursday, we do the Thursday talks. We're talking. Police doesn't know, they just can't prove it. Well, that's the thing, Umar. I would think if it's one of your own, especially a young WPC, fire button prove. I thought that's how our police rolled. I thought that's how many police rolled. But apparently our police do not roll like that at all. Not since that Morva shooting. They're afraid of the cameras around the corners, eh? Why is the police so demotivated? 4%? 4%? A lackluster lady at the front? No strong leadership? High crime so that their duties are always seen as a failure? Low trust between the population and the police, so the police do not have an encouraging word by and large to get from the population. People don't like them. I could see why the police would be demotivated. I could see why. And on the 4% business, I've said this before as it comes to paying police. To me, if you're telling me that the reason we pay judges that much, the reason we pay prime ministers and those in the legal fraternity and all of that, we pay them a lot. We must pay them a lot so that they stay honest and uphold the law because they are in pivotal positions. Well, I think the police are in such a position too. Police pay shouldn't be a pittance. Increase the qualifications if needs be, but also increase the people's salary, for goodness sakes. Conveniently, we must bend the law to deal with the lawless. I think that's the duty of a human police. The duty of a human police is so that we have a human interface between the black and white of the law, so that we have a human interface that socially we could have interpretation and better usage and implementation of the law. I wouldn't want robots to implement our law. I want the police to be humans. I want them to be able to bend the law and twist it and, allow something to fit here, allow someone to escape here, allow someone to get held here when it may have seemed like, yeah, they could escape. Nah, you use your intuition and such. That's why I think you want police to be humans. You want to make sure you have morally upstanding people in that position because you want them to do such things. How many officers have been shot since the Morva shooting? How has the response been? Good point. Torres says maybe if they weren't allowing themselves to be used as an income generating tool, maybe, just maybe, the public wouldn't dislike them. I've said this many times, and I think even from the leadership in the police, they could probably try to do something about that. Try to see if they could tease out some differences in duties. Good night, Jante. And listen, if there was demotivation previously, and now you have officers being shot, what's going to happen? Where are we headed? Where are we headed with this? What direction are we headed in with this kind of stuff? The officers are already demotivated, and now we have officers being shot. If I am an officer, what am I to take from this? How am I to see this and relate to this? Now my life is in increased danger. My pay isn't increasing as I'd like it to. The whole crew around me, the whole batch, demotivated. One of my batch dead the other day, get murdered. Where does that leave me as an officer? Is that an encouragement for me to, really lean into this policing duty and get it done? Or quite the opposite? %, not worth it. That's the position. And I don't necessarily disagree. Now, I have questions about value for money. And maybe we could increase the, not necessarily the qualifications, because I don't necessarily like the idea that somehow more of some book knowledge that's represented by a certificate is going to make a better police per se. But increase the difficulty to become a police, increase the expectations, increase the accountability, whatever needs be, increase it. And then pay the people more. Kremak, I'm pretty certain I'm not qualified. And even if I was qualified, I'm nearly certain they won't hire me. Like, I feel I could make a good commissioner. Once the batch them do murder me. Once the batch do murder me, I think I could be a good commissioner. We are allowing some FULs. FULs gonna be flying out like rain. Real FULs. Now, not without the checks, but we're not holding up for nonsense. Okay, we check. You good? Load it. Lock and loaded. More FULs. And, you know, I always wonder, I remember seeing 2 cases of this. Bad behavior by police, and they relocate them to Toko. Like, bro, you think people in Toko want these bad police? You have to figure out a way to fire police. Much easier firing. Link me now, because I'm still waiting on my pepper spray. Wow. Imagine that. That's insane. But like many and to be fair, many public officers are like that. The teaching service is pretty similar to, I mean, teachers aren't that easy to get rid of also. So you have to make it easier to get rid of police. Like, increase the pay. I think a police constable should be starting off upwards 10. A police constable should be starting off upwards 10 easily. Why not 12? Why not 12? Constable starts off at 12. A position that, you know, there would be some competition for. You're not just attracting people who want to just barely make a salary and get a nice little stable work now. No, you attract people who want to make a career out of this thing. Yeah, you start at 12, and if you make your way up, there are salaries going all the way up to 30 something. Why not? Why not? They're in an integral position. Make it as such, but also make it that you can lose that $12,000 job the quickest way. That it's not as stable as it seems. You see how promoting does have confusion? Yeah, well, almost all those promotions in court right now, eh? It's kind of amazing to me how many cases are in court. That is that's not a good sign. It's not a good sign. The amount of police cases right now before our courts, I don't think that's a good sign. Let me just browse. It's Thursday Talks, so we're talking. But let me pull up this article while we're talking here. Police recruit. This is a recruit. Once commissioner of police sent to prison for contempt. All right. A contempt application has been filed against the commissioner of police for failing to allow a police recruit to take her oath. She could be sworn in as an officer and continue her training. So she could be sworn in as an officer and continue her training. It seeks to have the commissioner committed to prison for the breach. The application was filed on October 24th by attorneys for Aviel Williams. The docketed Judge Justice Joan Charles has set a hearing of the application for October 28th. On October 18th, Charles permitted Williams to pursue her challenge for several declarations after she was not allowed to take her oath and was removed from training without reason. The judge had also stayed the decision to remove Williams from the list of recruits until her lawsuit was determined, which would have allowed her to be sworn in as a police officer and continue her training from October 21st. However, the court's order was not complied with, prompting Williams' attorneys to file the breach of order application against the commissioner. Williams is seeking a declaration that the commissioner and the attorney general are in contempt of the judge's order. You know, the thing is though, this isn't the first time that our commissioner has ignored what judges and the judiciary has said. It's not the first time. It's not the first time. There have been, I believe, numerous cases where a judgment was made and the commissioner just refused. Let me see if I can pull up that. This is from Monday, 22nd July. Top Cup faces contempt application over FUL delay. A businessman has filed a contempt application against the commissioner for her failure to abide by a court order in June for a decision to be made on his firearm user's license application. And I believe there were not a number more. I believe there was a number more than just that one. I mean, I don't think that the judge is actually going to put the commissioner in prison. I don't think that's going to happen, but maybe it should. And then if the thing is that the commissioner has no consequence to pay for contempt of court rulings, then she is above the law. That's what you're telling me. This person in this position is, in the most literal sense, above the law. The court could say what they want and she could say, forget all here. Or another choice of words beginning with F. And there's nothing that the court could do apparently. The commissioner could whine on any ruling that she sees or doesn't see fit. That's kind of insane to me. That's kind of insane to me. What's the point of allowing a process where we can take the commissioner to court, the judges make a ruling, but the commissioner could do whatever she wants with the ruling? The rulings could pile up outside her office and she sleeps peacefully at night. Does that make sense? And I mean, therein is the demotivation. You forget, who is she puppet master or what? Who is she puppet master, Fireflame? What are you saying? The Ministry of National Security have to step in, and well, they aren't going to do that. Like, do you see Mr. Hines stepping in there to do something? And as far as Dr. Rowley goes, he seems like he really likes Erla. For whatever reason, he seems like he really likes Erla. For some reason, Erla is endeared to the hierarchy of the PNM, apparently. I can't see why, Maybe I'm just not privy to the kind of information they see on their end, the kind of work that she is doing from her office, on the low. She's working really hard. I don't know. I'm not privy to it. But somebody obviously likes the lady a lot. The Bobby reached 75, Bobby hit a 75. Where's that? Where did I pull that up? 75 is pretty old. 75 is pretty. I think this should be the fat lady singing. I think the fat lady is the one that is supposed to be singing his birthday song this year. PM Rowley celebrates 75th birthday in Samoa. The Prime Minister celebrated his 75th birthday on October 24th in Samoa, where he's currently attending the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, CHOGM. Dr. Rowley left for the CHOGM on October 21st. The CHOGM runs from October 21st to 26th. The formal opening ceremony takes place on October 25th and features an address by King Charles III to Commonwealth leaders. Leaders will meet between yada 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 yada. Among the first to wish Rowley a happy birthday was Energy Minister Stuart Young, who has been appointed to act as Prime Minister during Rowley's absence. Stewie look like he gunning for leadership position, eh? Can he even run again? What do you mean, can he? I don't think we have any term limits here in Trinidad and Tobago. Didn't Dr. Eric Williams basically rule the country for 40 years or something? Not 40 years, am I exaggerating? Nearly 30 years at the start of our founding? Isn't that something that he did? So, I mean, so I think he could run again, and it's kind of up to him. The benefit for, you see, that's the benefit for men and that bald head kind of thing, eh? Bald head, clean shave, and Bobby could pass for 50. You see the goodly Dr. Bobs, and you think that's a 50-year-old man, but the doc clocking 75. 75 is a lot. What the good book says, what does the good book say? 3 square and 10? It's 3 square and 10, the good book says. That's 70. You already 5 added on. He said that previously, but politicians say all kind of things. You don't know how believable that is. You're not sure how believable that is. If the power tastes too sweet, that he cannot let it go. And I mean, it wouldn't be unusual in the realm of politics, because we have a lot of politicians that are hanging around all that kind of time. We hear Jack Warner talking about he's looking to jump back in the ring. Like, back in the ring, Uncle Jack. But he's looking to. Good night, Joe. Uncle Jack is looking to throw his hat back in the ring too. How old is Uncle Jack? 7. Has he crossed the 80 yet? And by the way, the UNC chairman welcomes him, eh? So it's not just him making old talk. Jack looking to make a jail. What make you say that, Umar? UNC chairman welcomes Jack Warner's interest for general election. UNC Chairman Devindranath Thakur says he is heartened by his predecessor Jack Warner's willingness to contest the next general election, but he added the party has a process whereby it selects candidates for any election. On October 23rd, Warner said he was willing to be a UNC candidate in the election, which is constitutionally due by next August if party political leader Kamala Prasad-Biswas is open to the idea. On October 24th, Thakur said the population recognizes that the UNC remains the only hope for rescuing this country from the social and economic damage caused by the PNM. He added, I am heartened that we are seeing a substantial inflow of persons, including Mr. Warner, responding to the political leader's call for those willing to serve at all levels of the party to come forward. As a disciplined, structured party, Thakur continued, we have a formal process which is well known for candidate selection, including completion of a nomination form, assessment, consultation, and screening, which is open to all members. Y'all think if Uncle Jack wants to run in a seat that anyone is going to stop him? Latest Torres, latest. 81 years. Like Uncle Jack. Uncle J. JW. What we doing? What we telling myself? UNC will use him again for campaign finance. Yeah, the thing with Jack, it's not just campaign finance, you know. I don't think what Jack brings is just money, because I believe the UNC doesn't really struggle for money. The UNC has many very deep pockets. You know, it's not like they of course, more money, the more the better. But it's not like they don't have deep pockets already. Nathan, if it was you, would you step down? If who was me? If I was Dr. Rowley? If I was Dr. Rowley, I would have stepped down, yes. I can't see myself wanting to be the focal point of country politics in my late 70s. I just don't see it. Like, look for an advisory role. Yeah. The way I see it, the leader of a country, I'm still looking at nearly as in the days of old, where the leader of a country, if push come to shove and Jamaica wants to war Trinidad, we could send out the leaders and they do a one-on-one duel and fight it out. Something like that. Well, the thing is though, Reeve, if you, like for Dr. Rowley, who had 2 terms of Prime Minister, he's already going to get all the money. He already has the recognition. They will call him Prime Minister till he dies. He would be a dignitary any country he goes in. He already has the pomp and circumstance that surrounds him. What more do you need? Like, really and truly, should we be sending the 75-year-old man to fly all across the world up and down on those high-intensity missions? Really? Like, I don't think that's a job for old people. Like, even in the United States, looking at their candidates, well, previously their candidates, now they have someone who's younger. Kamala, I believe, just turned 60. And imagine that. Imagine now we have reached a place in society where turning 60, which is the age for NIS pension in Trinidad and Tobago, is a young person running for leadership in the United States. Like, sis, 60 is not young. 60 should be when you're wrapping up. Where are the mid 40s, early 50s? Like, that's to me the peak time. At least for someone like Trump, for someone like him, the excuse that can be given is that he was already high intensity, high flying billionaire businessman. So this is just a continuation of the kind of schedule and life that he always lives. Well, how you mean we're taking old pensioners and putting them to be at the pinnacle of our business? Really? Really? So you need more sleep now? Those medical checkups are coming more regular. Go enjoy some grandchildren. Sap your knee. And to me, we have to get more. The political structure has to develop more into a kind of nature where people are okay with, stepping down. Are okay with stepping down and going to another stage. Once you get the power, you don't have to hold it on forever. Maybe could only fly free for them checker. Yeah, but the party members voting for that. Yeah. It is the party members voting for that. But to some extent, it's also what the people want. Because if the person didn't want that, they wouldn't put themselves up and the party couldn't vote for it. So it's what the party wants, yes, but it's also what the person is offering too. Take that money on a yacht in Monaco. I mean, all that. Or if you're so into politics, you could stay and be an advisor. Get an advisory role. How potent would it be if you step down willingly, leave it for someone who's younger, and then you take a step back and offer advice? That's the kind of thing that allows you to go down as a real patriot. That's the kind of narrative they're trying to build around Biden now. The truth is, though, that that's not what he did. He tried to still go again until his own party basically cooed him out. But if indeed, when 2024 swung around, Mr. Biden said, I'm just too old for this now. I'm going to leave it for the younger generation, and let's see what comes out of that. That would have only gone across as a positive on his record to me. Who would have criticized that? Who could have criticized that? I think Dr. Rawls need to take a chill. 75, bro. Mr. Warner, Uncle Jack at 81. Are you really? The man nearly rolled down Air Force One steps. Yeah. And in that case, do you all think Stuart Young is a good replacement? Do you see Stewie as a top contender for the new PNM leadership? Umar says, nah, forget that. Why, bro? Warner. This is Warner's view, Jack Warner's. Penny could lead PNM. While he has no interest in the internal politics unfolding in the People's National Movement, Jack Warner believes Penelope Beckles-Robinson is best suited to lead the party. He suggested Beckles-Robinson during an interview with Guardian Media at his Center of Excellence Tunapuna office yesterday. If I had my way, the only person I could see, and I am only saying this because you asked the question, though I am not in the party, as being worthy of leading the PNM is Penny Beckles. She versus Kamala Prasad-Bisesa would be a thrilling fight, and a fight of the century, Warner indicated. Joe says, my sentiments also, she is the best option. Beckles-Robinson, who is currently the Arima MP, challenged Dr. Keith Rowley for the post of political leader in 2014, but lost. Rowley won with 18,121 votes against her 1,315 at the time. The party had 81,000 members. Warner commended Beckles Robinson for having guts to go up against Rowley while others were quarreling in a corner, adding, at the end of the day, Penny Beckles has served this country in all different capacities, and she's very modest, quiet, not rude or disrespectful. Earlier this month, the PNM announced that its internal election, which was initially carded for November 17th and 51st annual convention, had been cancelled. Penny is good but an expansioner, but she is still younger. I think she is in her early 60s. But I agree. I think I would not choose Penny personally. No. Penny's time was the time that she ran was the time for her. 10 years ago, when she was early 50s, that was the time for her, I believe. Unfortunately, Dr. Rowley took it. But I think that was the time for her. Now, maybe, in my opinion, a little late. 63? Maybe not. Michaela should have gone PNM and pull a coup. I don't think Michaela would have been able to do a coup in PNM. PNM is too much of a brown down party, and I don't mean this in the colorist or racial aspect. I mean just in the bureaucracy and status quo of the PNM. I don't think that Michaela would have gotten inside of the PNM to really flip it on its head like that. I just don't think that's what was going to happen. Dr. Brown, Dr. Amory Brown. I mean, he doesn't seem like he is on the forefront of getting public attention, so I don't know. Why are you laughing, Umar? What's the joke? Who else is young? Who else has that youth in the PNM party? You see that, Umar? Only I don't have court clothes. Well, don't say it, because I don't have court clothes either. I'm going to court in a MindFULL jersey, and I don't think they will take that. He don't have the fortitude for leadership, in my opinion. Who else is there? Really? Who else is there? Who is the prominent people in the PNM right now? The Minister of Works, Rohan Sinanan. I don't think he's aiming at leadership. The former Minister of Agriculture, what was his name again? Clarence. Right. Clarence Rambarat. Maybe. Who? Fireflame says, what we talking about? X and 5, we're talking about who could take over in the PNM, because we're talking about the age of the leadership that we're going with now. Dr. Rowley just celebrated his 75th birthday. Tanti Cams is in her 70s too, I believe. Jack Warner is speaking about returning to active politics in his 80s. He says he thinks Penny Beckles would be the best leader for the PNM, who is in her 60s also. Faris, I think Faris has fans, but I also think he has a lot of haters. I don't know how well he'd make it. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Faris. I think if they choose Faris, though, the PNM will have a remodeling. The PNM would not be the same party of old if you have Faris as the leader. That will be interesting. That will be interesting. If we have this smooth talking, fancy dressing, attempted sweet man as our prime minister, that will be interesting. To me, Faris or Penelope, there is none other. That's two interesting directions, Faris or Penelope. But it could seem like the lineup right now is lining up Stewie. The lineup right now seems like they're going with Stuart. What's wrong with the Iraqi blood, Umar? It seems like they're lining up Stuart though. And who was it? Someone of those political speakers was saying that Stuart seems to be the choice of the donors. The deep pockets in the background of the PNM, allegedly, they say like Stuart. That will be interesting. Listen the kind of draconian laws this man will bring in Parliament. To put Stuart is just disrespectful to Penelope. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. But here's the thing. As someone noted, there's a voting that would have to take place. And unless the entirety of the senior party crowd stands behind Stuart, I do not see Stuart winning an internal PNM election against Penelope Beckles. I don't see that happening. I mean, I do not have a PNM party card. I'm not a member of the PNM. I don't vote there. I don't know for sure. But just by and large, I don't see Stuart beating Penelope in a PNM internal election. I just don't see it happening. To be honest, I don't see Stuart beating Faris in an internal PNM election. Stuart doesn't strike me as someone who has a whole lot of internal PNM support. I don't know, maybe he does, but he doesn't strike me as someone who is a real crowd favorite with the PNM stalwarts. He just doesn't strike me as that. I know some of those PNM tanties love them some Faris. I know that. The women's arm of the PNM has always been a vigorous and vibrant group. And I think they would lean behind Penelope if she were to go there. Penny is in the mold of that PNM lady of old, where you know she's well qualified, dignified in her approach, and so I think that East-West Corridor Afro woman group, they will go with her. I think. I don't see them choosing Stuart over her. To me, she's like the Barbados PM. A bit. But isn't Penny married? Tanti Penny have children? I don't know if she has children, but she's married. So, she isn't exactly like the Barbados PM. Umar, hello to you too, sir. How are you? Nisi, you notice I even called that name? Nisi, come on now. I didn't call that name. Let's put it like this. I just don't think we are ready for a Rastaman Prime Minister quite yet. I don't think we are ready for a Rastaman Prime Minister quite yet. Not quite yet. At least not that Rasta. Not that Rasta. I meant it like the knowledge and fearlessness. I think I know how you meant it, but I was just making sure we don't put Penny D, because you know she keeps a low hairstyle and wears pantsuits and things, so people can misunderstand. Do not put Tanti Penny in that same crowd. Isn't her name hyphenated? Robinson Beckles? Or Beckles Robinson, sorry. That Rasta man will nuke Lavantil. Listen, I think if I were to be afraid of anybody getting the reins of power from that PNM group, and what they might do, it might be that Rasta man. I feel like that Rasta man might do some drastic stuff. He might do some drastic stuff, and he seems like a guy who has some ego, and he likes himself a bit much. How it's all going to go down with his naysayers and him as the head? I just don't think so. I think not. Nisi. I have to, I have to couch my words in the proper adjectives. It seems, it might be, it appears, in my opinion, to my knowledge, in my view, I think, I surmise, in my as an assumption, as a presumption, not be dread. That will be too much problems. It will be far worse than what we've got at the moment. I think if they were to put the dread, the PNM stands to lose. Like, I believe Penny against Cams, Penny wins. I think even Dr. Rowley against Cams again, Dr. Rowley wins. Faris against Cams, I think he wins. Even Stewart against Cams, I think he wins. I feel if you put the Dreddy, I think you may lose. He is not a well-liked man. And the thing is, he is a man that can lean into that kind of villain, unliked role. It seems like he doesn't mind leaning into that role. And okay, that works if you are the Minister of National Security in a violent country and the Prime Minister gives you that role because probably no one else wants it. So you could take all the talk and still come out kicking and fighting like if you're the star of it all, because you're just that much confident and sure of yourself. But as a Prime Minister, I don't think that will work. That will come across that well. Like, I think Dr. Rowley is far too arrogant and brash of a Prime Minister as it stands. But I think he can escape with that because we have no one of real substance to challenge him. There's no real competition. I don't think the Rastaman will succeed in that. Maybe Penny, because it has to go to a vote at the end of the day. And who's going to win that vote? Who's going to win that vote? If him throw his hat in the ring, y'all think Mr. Colm could win that? What about a calm Prime Minister? Who's for calm? Hey, any further comments or questions on the inside before I dive out? No, we always got duties these days. Always got duties. He not older than Keith. Maybe. He's not young. We could say that for sure. He's no spring chicken. But is it that young people are not going into the politics, so we aren't seeing the young replacements, or is it a purposeful thing by those parties where they do not groom young people to replace them because they don't want it? Which is it? Is it a party choice thing, or is it the people choose that? The young people aren't going in, because there really does seem to be a lack. And there really does seem to be a lack of young people that are at the fore. I guess the UNC does have some Saddam and Barry Padarat, even though I don't see Mr. Padarat being a viable candidate in this Caribbean country. PNM groom from Consular, so by the time you reach, they already programmed. Yeah, that's why I said I don't see Michaela being able to just go in and take over the PNM. I don't think that's how the PNM works. Like, I don't think you enter the PNM this year and by next year you're at leadership level. That doesn't seem to be how it works. It's alleged Colm does have them young boys hot in Parliament. What do you mean by that? Fire flame? I don't know what I mean by that. And I don't read the thing. Listen, I don't know what he means by that. As a disclaimer, I have no idea what that means. I'm just reading a comment. The comments and views expressed by the audience and the chat in the Mindful live show are not necessarily the views of the host and co-host of this show. Just let it be known. I don't know what you mean by have the young boys hot. I have no idea what that means, sir. Up in Parliament. Okay. That's his constituency, right? Parliament is part of his constituency. Yeah, you see all these yawns? That's a sign. So if there are no further questions or comments on the inside, I will call it a night and bid you all farewell. It was nice, a nice little chill mindful talk. We a nice little Thursday talks. We come and talk and chill and stuff. Listen, just imagine, oh gosh, no. Umar, that's not gonna happen. You and I, big man to big man. Big man to big man. We know that's not happening in Trinidad and Tobago. Not gonna happen. I mean, even in the United States, but a judge couldn't even win over there. If you all know who Mr. Buttigieg is, he went up for as a presidential candidate for the Democrats, and even him, he wasn't able to make it through the crowd, because that's quite a leap there. Yeah, no, that's not gonna happen. That's a no from me, bro. A no from me. You'd vote for him, Umar? That would be your preferred candidate for the next UNC leader? You think Mr. Padarat, because he does seem to be someone who has a particular care for bullying and for the gender-based rights and gender-based violence and that kind of stuff. So, if that's a focal issue for you, he may be the man for you. So Umar, is he the man that you would prefer? Is that the man you'd prefer? I mean, everyone has their choice. They choose. That's the nature of the democratic elections. You get to choose the man you want. Umar says, I will surely have to vote red. Why is that, Umar? Why? Guy has shown himself to be a caring politician, someone willing to stand in the gap for those who are, treated unfairly in society. Shows himself to be a very empathetic, caring, a man who's in touch touch with his emotions. And then they will legalize. Anyhow, I'll refrain. Legalize the herb. Haven't they done that already? What else would he legalize? That will be a lit season though, eh? The dress code. Can you imagine bouncing UN with a LV bag? But then we might be the top of all those international meetings, because the Western world, the UN based liberal world order, they love them some rainbow activities. So I think if we were to elect that the goodly gentleman from Princestown, I think it may give us some advantage on the global scale. Brother, I'm looking for a guy. I get a little advantage on the global scale, The world does encourage and lean into that kind of stuff. As for me, though, I'm good. I think I'll prefer Penny. And I think I'll prefer Kamala. I think I'd rather Kamala. No, even though he has the youth on his side, I'm glad he's a young person and he's interested in the politics. I think if I had a preference, I think I'd still go with Tanti Kams, though. That's just in my view, for reasons. Anyway, people. I'm feeling like the sleepiness want to come on. I bid you farewell. Until the next Mindful Live, I'll see you guys later. I hope you're educated, informed, or entertained. I am Nathan Springer. This has been the Mindful Live. I'll see you guys again for the next one. Hopefully tomorrow night around that 9:30 p.m. time. Until then, people, hold it down. Stay well, stay safe. Stay inside. Go and make some babies. Babies are some good stuff. Repopulate the world out there. Get those numbers up. Make some good little Trinis. Or Guyanese, if you're a Guyanese looking for that Guyana passport. I mean, the oil money coming in over there in Guyana. Make the babies. Until next time, people. Laters. Bye.